Security is one of the biggest issues with the IoT. These sensors are collecting, in many cases, extremely sensitive data. What you say and do in your own home, for example. Many IoT devices lack the capability to be patched, which means they are permanently at risk. Hackers are now actively targeting IoT devices, such as routers and webcams, because their inherent lack of security makes them easy to compromise and roll up into giant botnets. In fact, not only computers and phones, but all smart devices are connected to the internet, so they can be captured by attackers, and attackers can have an army of smart devices. Okay, now I want you to search webcam by typing it into the search engine. When we search a webcam, we encounter about 11,000 results. Here you can access many devices. For example, when we click on any one, it even shows weaknesses. It shows which brand this device has, its location on the map, its open ports, etc. Attackers can access the camera remotely anywhere in the world when they enter and decipher a search. It can be found very easily if you don't change the password in your camera's settings and leave it as the default. For example, when you choose China, it only shows cameras in China. Each of them is used as a boat, and the device owners never know. Now let's watch a video about the botnet.
What is a botnet? When IoT devices attack. A botnet is a collection of internet-connected devices that an attacker has compromised. Botnets act as a force multiplier for individual attackers, cybercriminal groups, and nation-states looking to disrupt or break into their targets' systems. Commonly used in distributed denial of service, or DDoS attacks, botnets can also take advantage of their collective computing power to send large volumes of spam, steal credentials at scale, or spy on people and organizations. Malicious actors build botnets by infecting connected devices with malware and then managing them using a command and control server. Once an attacker has compromised a device on a specific network, all the vulnerable devices on that network are at risk of being infected. A botnet attack can be devastating. In 2016, the Mirai botnet shut down a large portion of the internet, including Twitter, Netflix, CNN, and other major sites, as well as major Russian banks and the entire country of Liberia. Mirai took advantage of unsecured Internet of Things devices, such as security cameras, installing malware that then attacked the dying servers that route internet traffic. Why we can't stop botnets. The challenges to shutting botnets down include the widespread availability and ongoing purchases of insecure devices, the near impossibility of simply locking infected machines out of the internet, and difficulty tracking down and prosecuting the botnet creators. When consumers go into a store to buy a security camera or other connected device, they look at features, they look for recognizable brands, and, most importantly, they look at the price. Security is rarely a top concern. How to prevent botnet attacks. The Council to Secure the Digital Economy, in cooperation with the Information Technology Industrial Council, US Telecom, and other organizations, recently released a comprehensive guide to defending enterprises against botnets. Here are the top 4 recommendations. 1. Update. Botnets use unpatched vulnerabilities to spread from machine to machine so that they can cause maximum damage in an enterprise. The first line of defense should be to keep all systems updated. 2. Lock down access. The guide recommends that enterprises deploy multi-factor and risk-based authentication, least privilege, and other best practices for access controls. 3. Don't go it alone. The anti-bot guide recommends several areas in which enterprises can benefit by looking to external partners for help. For example, there are many channels in which enterprises can share threat information, such as industry groups and vendor-sponsored platforms. 4. Deepen your defenses. It's no longer enough to secure the perimeter or endpoint devices. You need multiple defensive systems. Isolating IoT devices on a separate part of the network is one recommended approach.
Infected with malware, IoT devices can be used as botnets to launch distributed denial of service (DDoS) attacks on the network the bad actor wishes to bring down. However, unlike IT devices, the vast array of hardware and operating systems for IoT devices makes it impossible to protect them all in the same way. A single malware prevention agent compatible with most IoT platforms does not exist. Recent research indicates that 90% of consumers lack confidence in IoT device security. On top of that, 98% of all IoT device traffic is unencrypted, putting personal and confidential data at severe risk. The first example is Mirai. On October 12, 2016, a massive distributed denial of service (DDoS) attack left much of the Internet inaccessible in the U.S. The attack was the work of the Mirai botnet. Mirai is malware that infects smart devices that run on ARC processors, turning them into a network of remotely controlled bots, or zombies. This network of bots, called a botnet, is often used to launch DDoS attacks. If the default username and password combo is not changed, Mirai is able to log into the device and infect it. Another example is the TrendNet webcam hack. The TrendNet webcam had faulty software that allowed anyone who obtained the camera's IP address to look through it and even listen. Another example is the Jeep hack. This attack was first demonstrated in July of 2015 by a team from IBM. They were able to access the onboard software of a Jeep SUV and exploit a vulnerability in the firmware update mechanism. Researchers took total control of the vehicle and were able to speed it up and slow it down, as well as turn the wheel and cause the car to veer off the road. The OWASP Internet of Things project is designed to help manufacturers, developers, and consumers better understand the security issues associated with the Internet of Things, and to enable users in any context to make better security decisions when building, deploying, or assessing IoT technologies. The project looks to define a structure for various IoT sub-projects separated into the following categories: seek and understand, validate and test, and governance. The most common risk is the passwords, which are weak and predictable. The fourth risk is that the device software update mechanism is not as easy and practical as our phones.